Euaoi.
Back in 2020, when the whole world was locked down, I decided to binge watch a long series just to help pass the time. The series that I chose was King of the Hill, and I'm glad that was the one I ended up choosing since I love this show, from its quirky characters to its witty writing and extensive world building. While Hollywood seems to be heavily relying on nostalgia with the excessive amount of reboots and revivals these days, instead of just making original content, I was hoping the show wouldn't be rebooted, not because I hate it, but because I believe the show had a good run. It felt like it ended at just the right time before it joined the club of shows like The Simpsons, Family Guy, and more recently, Bob's Burgers in shows that have gone on for way too long. A reboot would just feel like the higher-ups at Fox/Hulu are just trying to milk the show for as much as they can possibly get out of it. Well, if it wasn't already obvious, the show did get rebooted, and the reboot has been in development since 2022. And since then, a lot of news regarding the reboot has been spread across the internet that I will now uncover, with the most recent news being an official piece of promotional artwork and a leaked collaboration with Fortnite. Let's start with the news surrounding the reboot. What we know so far is that Hulu greenlit the revival for not just one, but 2 seasons. As for the show itself, the first piece of news we have regarding the reboot is that it has a time jump. This is evident from the fact that Bobby's voice actor, Pamela Adlon, revealed that Bobby is going to be 21 years old and is working as a chef at a fusion restaurant in Dallas in the reboot. And honestly, I'm glad the writers referenced that episode where Bobby developed a love of cooking when he was taking home Ek, which led to Peggy sabotaging their Thanksgiving dinner out of envy. Or in the series finale where Bobby has a hidden talent in being a meat inspector. Another piece of news regarding the reboot that's worth mentioning is that Dale's voice actor tragically passed away in 2023. But it's been confirmed that he recorded his lines as Dale for a couple of episodes before his passing. And it just makes me wonder how the producers even handled this. Like, did they revise a lot of the future scripts to have Dale removed from them? Or did they just recast him? A part of me thinks they did recast him because I'm pretty sure they ended up recasting the voice actor for Khan, not because his original voice actor passed away, but because of an established rule enacted by Fox recently saying that white voice actors will no longer be voicing non-white characters. But a part of me thinks they didn't recast him out of respect for Hardwick's passing. There's additional evidence as for why I believe this to be the case, and that stems from John Redcorn's voice actor, Jonathan Joss, speaking out about not being at the reunion event hosted by the show's creators at Austin, Texas's ATX TV Festival, which implies that he will most likely not be involved with the reboot, which is tragic not only because it means John Redcorn won't be returning, but he's also been going through pretty hard times lately, as he lost his San Antonio home and his pet dog in a tragic house fire and is in the red financially. Since John Redcorn's role in the show mostly revolved around the Gribbles, him not being there implies that they're not going to be that prevalent in the reboot, especially in regards to Johnny Hardwick's passing. All of the news I have covered then has been confirmed. I'm now going to be covering rumors/speculations regarding leaks that have been published online, because some of the storyboard art for the show has been leaked online, and the person who leaked those storyboards, Bethany Parker, also mentioned a few more important pieces of news regarding the reboot. Bobby and Connie are back together, Khan and Min have split up, but isn't sure if it's temporary or a divorce. Khan is now living with Bill, and the Hills have adopted a new dog named Caesar, whom Hank isn't fond of. Which is kind of fitting since Lady Bird was a pretty old dog in the series. In fact, there was one episode where she ends up going deaf. As for the name Caesar, I wonder why they went with that name, especially since Lady Bird was named after the wife of then President Lyndon B. Johnson, who was a Texas native. Are there any famous Texans with the name Caesar in which the dog's name took inspiration from? And the article where I found these leaked storyboards traced back to an archived 4chan thread, which I found using Daisu Archive, and found more speculated news regarding the reboot. One post on that thread that I found to be interesting said this: some guy who works for Hulu leaked the cast list to Reddit yesterday. Toby Huss, Khan's original voice actor, will replace Johnny Hardwick as Dale. Ronnie Chiang is replacing Toby Huss as Khan. Grey Delisle, who you may know as Princess Azula from Avatar, Vicky from The Fairly OddParents, Sam from Danny Phantom, Frankie from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, I could keep going on, is voicing Luann's daughter Gracie, not mentioned, Luann, Lucky, Buck. While this could possibly be fake, there is one piece of evidence that does a really good job at backing up this leak. Grey Delisle posted a current headshot and detailed bio of the grown-up Bobby from the King of the Hill wrap-up party on her Instagram. Grey being at the party could be a clear indicator that she's going to be involved in the reboot to some capacity. And if she's voicing Luann's daughter, does that mean Luann and Lucky are going to be recast? Because that's the direction it appears to be going in. While I'm hoping the remake ends up being good, but judging by this official piece of promotional artwork, it doesn't look very promising at all. This promotional artwork just epitomizes those boomer comics the internet loves to make fun of, with Hank being the technology bad person. Bill is ordering from Megalo Eats, which I'm guessing is this universe's equivalent of DoorDash. Dale is vaping while wearing a VR headset, and Boomhauer get iPad. Also, there's a drone carrying Alamo beer in the background. Not only is the main impression from this artwork just, hey look guys, these characters are now using modern technology, but it just gives me this feeling that the writers are just going to be playing catch up with the episode plots, and having each episode be themed around recent socio-political topics, such as Dale being an anti-vaxxer or running a right-wing conspiracy theory podcast, or an episode where the women of Arlen protest anti-abortion laws, or an episode where Buck Strickland gets Me Too'd. Or at the very least, that's what I would have believed had I not heard the additional rumors regarding the reboot and judged it solely based on this artwork. But luckily, the King of the Hill wiki has provided all of the episode titles for the 2 seasons of the Hulu revival. The episode titles for Season 14 are as follows: Return of the King, The Beer Story, Chore Money, Chore Problems, New Ref in Town, Peggy's Fade Out, Any Given Hill Day, Bobby Gets Grilled, No Hank Left Behind, A Sounder Investment, and Conscious Uncoupling. I'm not going to be analyzing all of these titles, but for the ones that stand out, The Beer Story sounds like it's going to be a satirical take on the Budweiser boycott over the brand going, quote-unquote, woke. Peggy's Fade Out sounds like an interesting one to me, since she usually likes to be in the front and center of everything, and this episode could potentially end up seeing a completely new side of her, which I'm totally down for. No Hank Left Behind sounds like Cotton's son, Good Hank, will make an appearance in that episode. And Conscious Uncoupling sounds like it will be about Con and Min's separation, as mentioned earlier. As for the Season 15 episode titles, none of them really stood out to me, so I'm not going to be mentioning any of them. To sum everything up, even though I would prefer to not have this reboot be made at all, I'm still cautiously optimistic about it. Some of the leaked storylines sound interesting, such as Bobby and Connie getting back together, or Con and Min uncoupling. I also like the time skip and how they further expand upon Bobby's interest in cooking, but the unfortunate passing for some of the voice actors makes me worried they're just going to end up cutting out characters who played a big role in shaping the show's identity. Also, this promotional artwork really isn't doing it any justice. Anyways, that's all I have for today, and I'll see you next time.